Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gary with the Get Some podcast. And my guest this week is...
This motherfucker Gary.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Gary Owen with the Get Some podcast. Let's start off with my schedule. This weekend, I am in Cancun, Mexico, on October 6th. That's Friday. Then Saturday, I'm in Palm Springs, California at the Morongo Casino. First time in Palm Springs ever to perform. October 12th through the 15th, I'm in Cleveland, Ohio at the Improv. October 20th and 21st, I'm Chicago, Illinois at the RE Crown Theater. October 27th, I'm in LA. October 28th, I'm in Stockton. November 1st, I'm in Sacramento at the Punchline. And November 3rd through the 5th, I am in San Jose, California. And just a reminder, November 4th, I am filming my next comedy special. We're debating a couple titles. Finally was a good one. On My Own is a good one. So we're trying to figure it out. Just announced today, December 29th, I'll be in San Antonio, Texas at the Tobin Center. So tickets go on sale Friday. So that's where I'm at. I got a lot more dates in between, but in the immediate future, yeah, Cleveland, Palm Springs, Cancun, Chicago, Stockton, San Jose, November 4th. I keep pushing that because that's the next special. Shouts out to everyone in Richmond, Virginia that came out to see me over the weekend. I was only there Friday and Saturday. We did 2 Friday, 3 Saturday. Sold out 4 of the 5. Didn't sell out the week. We had a 4 o'clock, which is always interesting to me, those daytime shows. But it was so nice to be back at a comedy club where I didn't feel guilty for asking for stuff. Because I told you last week, I kind of vented on the DC Improv and how the management kind of didn't want to do anything outside the writer, so to speak. And so and then you start to wonder, at least I do. I'm not one of these comedians that's like, still don't think of it like, oh, wait a minute, I deserve this, man. You know, how dare you? It's weird. When management comes at me like the DC Improv did, it was like, dang, am I wrong for asking for this stuff? And then I go to Richmond this week, and it was just like, I got there and I called the guy. I go, hey, did you get the new rider? And I go, you don't have to get certain foods. I go, I'm probably going to order out. He goes, oh, no. We remember last year you ordered Cooper Hawk every night. And they said, so we already got the menu printed out. We're ready to go get it when you get here. I was like, oh, my God. Thank you. It was just like, and then he said he couldn't find a certain energy drink. And I said, just get some Celsius. And he was like, all right, we'll go get it. It was nothing. I mean, just nothing seemed like it was too much. So I appreciate the staff and the management at the Richmond, Virginia Funny Bone. It was good. It was good to be back at a club that just made you feel welcome and makes you look forward to going back to that club. So yeah, that was fun. So I didn't have a show Sunday, and I ended up going to the Houston Texans versus Pittsburgh Steelers game. Don't ask me why I keep having this run-in with Pittsburgh. I caught shit when I went to their practice a couple weeks ago. So now I got invited by Bun B. He's got those Trill burgers, which, by the way, so I called a buddy of mine, an NFL agent, and I said, hey, he lives in Houston. I said, hey, I'll be back Sunday. I said, you going to the game? He said, nah. He goes, you want to go? And I wasn't even thinking about going. I was thinking I'd meet him at a sports bar or something if you want to watch the game. And then I was like, well, I mean, yeah. I said, where are the seats? Because I said, I don't want to sound bougie, but I don't want to be in nosebleeds. I'll sit nosebleeds maybe for a Bengals game, but that's it. He goes, no, I'll get you in a suite. Now, I didn't know what suite he was talking about. So he gets me in touch with Bun B's people. I get to sit in his suite. He got Trill burgers in the suite. Listen, and I'm not just saying this just to say it or to get on someone's good side. Those Trill burgers are Trillicious. Oh, my God. Because I said, I've never had one. And Bum was like, what? He goes, man, we sell them at the stadium now. And we was talking about why he got in the restaurant business. And I asked him, I said, yo, is airport like, is that like I always thought the airport was where you want a restaurant, fast food spot. Because I'm thinking there's always traffic constantly. And people are always trying to eat at airports. He goes, well, and Bun broke it down. He goes, well, if you got a bar, that's what makes all the money. Not all the money, but a lot of the money. It's like people are always trying to have drinks at airports. I never thought of it like that. And then I realized every time there's a sit-down restaurant, it centers around a bar at most airports. So we was talking about that, and I said, man, I've never had your Trill burger yet. And he was like, what? And I was like, dude, the line's too long. I always hear about the line. He goes, man, Gary, just if you're going to go, we'll make sure you get in. I was like, yeah. I don't want to be going there that one day that the one security guard was like, nah. Because I heard those lines are epic at Trill Burger. And sometimes like Pink's Hot Dogs in L.A. When I first got to L.A., I waited in line. Unimpressed. That was Hormel. It wasn't that great. There's other, I'm trying to think, was there other like staples? You got Voodoo Donuts in any Portland, Austin. And then you get it and it tastes like a fucking donut. You're like, why did I wait in line? It tastes like a donut. What was the point? Because you got some Oreos on it or Captain Crunch. It still tastes like a donut. So like that type of deal. And this is not a knock on Voodoo Donuts. Believe me. They're still good donuts. It's just, I don't want to wait in line like that, especially in Portland. It's ridiculous. But there's some places like you go and there's always a line. I'm trying to think. I'm sure when this airs, you guys will tell me like what restaurants have long lines. But Trill Burgers, anyways, have these long lines. So that's why I've never gone. And then I had it. I'd wait in line for that burger. That's how good it was. And we didn't have the sides. But now that I had the Trill burgers that are Trillicious, then I went to the website and started following my Instagram. The onion rings look amazing too. I ain't had them yet, but I got a feeling when I have a cheat day, my next cheat day is going to be at Trill Burger. That's how good. And I'm gluten free. I ate the hell out of that bun, and I had nothing on it. Like because it's prepackaged. It's in like a foil, so I opened it. And then I was like, I was looking around like maybe I should put ketchup or mustard on it or something. Then I just bit into it just to see what it tastes like. You don't need nothing. As is. I think they got some onions in there or something. I don't know. And it was smashed. I like those smashed burgers. They're so much better when they freaking flatten them on the grill, the iron. They're so good. So shouts out to Bun B. Who knew rapping would lead you to burgers? That's what I always tell people, man. You never know where it's going to take you. Guys that want to be athletes. You might not make it in the NFL, but it might lead you to somewhere else. Coaching, announcing, who knows? Bun B, rapping, burgers. Who would have thought? I'm just telling you, I guarantee when Bun B started rapping, he wasn't thinking, I'm going to have a burger joint. And a good burger joint at that. So, they were good. They were really good. I think you guys get the picture. They were pretty freaking good. I had one, and then they put us on the Jumbotron. It was me, Cat Williams, Druski, Bun B, and they put us on the big Jumbotron, and then I grabbed the Trill box and grabbed the burger. And I was like, that's the best promo you ever got, Bun. And then I ate that burger. I had two. And I left in the middle of the fourth quarter. It was a blowout. So I had two burgers in like 2 hours. And don't regret it at all. It was that good. So shouts out to Bun B and your Bun B Trill burgers. It's really good. I'm going to try the onion rings too. So, again, free promo, Bun. You're welcome. And when people see this, watch. If you go to Houston, it's like when you go to Houston, when I used to come here as just stand up once a year, it was always like the Breakfast Club was a staple, the breakfast spot. Now, they got best grits I ever had is at the Breakfast Club in Houston. I'm not really a grit eater, but I crush the grits at that place. So there's always a line at the Breakfast Club. And I'm trying to think. Yeah, that was pretty much it. Like when I came to Houston, I was like, the Breakfast Club, I got to eat that. So now and then you got the Turkey Leg Hut, which is, Turkey Leg Hut is really good, but it's heavy, but it's more of an experience too. Like you don't know who you're going to see there. The music gets bumping. It's almost like a club that serves big ass turkey legs and big liquor drinks and bottles and stuff. It's just, they actually like break a bottle like a Grand Coriamo or what is it, the Ciroc bottle, and they like cut it in half and just put a drink in it. I don't know how they do it, but it's pretty cool. But yeah, so you always think like Turkey Leg Hut Breakfast Club, but now you got Trill Burger. So listen, we're not talking about health here. This is cheat day type stuff. Turkey Leg Hut, Trill Burger, Breakfast Club. This is when you want to break your diet for one day. I say go hard just for one day. Like eat all three. Like go to breakfast at the Breakfast Club, and then go to lunch at Trill Burger, and then that night go to Turkey Leg Hut, have some drinks with your friends, and get a big ass turkey leg and macaroni and cheese on it and stuff. So that'd be my advice. Came to Houston your last day, not your first day, eat good, then that last day, go ham. But just know you might die because your heart's going to be like, what the fuck are you doing? So just a little bit of advice. Those 3 spots to go to if you ever come to Houston, all right? So the cool part is when I was in the suite, Kat came up. It was good to reminisce with Kat again. It's so weird. Like in 1 week, I saw before the suite last week, I got on social media and I saw Cedric the Entertainer was in town promoting his book. So I went and saw Ced, got to catch up with him for a little bit. I hadn't seen him in a while. And Ced's always cool. So that was fun. And then I go to the game and I see Kat. I ain't seen Kat in a while. I got to catch up with him for a little bit. So that was cool. So it was funny, man. I rarely see comedians, and I saw 2 iconic ones in 1 week. So it was a crazy week this week. And then I see Druski. I never met Druski before. Here's the thing about Druski. I didn't know that motherfucker was that big. That's a big dude. I thought you never know when you see people in person. Because people all the time ask me, they're like, dang, I didn't know you was that tall. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like just under 6'3". So if you don't know, I'm a big dude. So I'm NBA, I'm not, but anywhere else, any other line of work, I'm pretty big. So people always tell me that they didn't think I was that tall. When I saw Druski, I was like, I can't tell off TV and stuff and Instagram, but then when I saw him, he's big. And it was cool because I went on Cam Newton's podcast a few months ago, and I had talked about Desi Banks and Druski, and I was telling people how they like some people don't like the internet comics and stuff like that. And I was like, nah, I don't look at it like that. I look at the young guys and doing the sketches and stuff and skits. And I was like, it kind of inspires me a little bit because I'm like, okay, what are they doing? How they doing it? And not that I want to do anything like them, but it's just like, okay, there's different avenues you can make. And I was telling Druski that, and I don't hate it, but I've come to grips that I'm an OG. So I've come to grips with that. I'm getting older. There's a few things that let you know you're getting older. One, the barbershop will let you know quick when they start running the clippers through your ears. And I'm like, what are you doing? And every time I go to the barbershop now, they get my ears. But the eyebrows is the one that's killing me. I go to this one lady, and every time she goes, I'm going to get your eyebrows real quick. And she puts the comb right here and goes, I go, really? My eyebrows? So there's a couple things at barbershops that make you feel old. If they go in the ears and the eyebrows, that lets you know you're getting up there, which is, I mean, you can say it's a blessing. We're still here. I saw Donnell Rollins on the Breakfast Club, and he goes, yeah, the internet makes you feel bad for getting old. You're like, you should be happy I'm getting old. I'm like, dude, I'm still here. I'm still relevant. But it's just funny. So when Druski was like, yo, OG and stuff like that, I'm like, he started asking me about how I'm feeling about today's stand-ups compared to the past. And it was cool just to chop it up with somebody that's carving their own path and making their way in this entertainment business. And like I was telling him, I said, I think now is the best time to be a stand-up, myself. Because now you're not at the mercy of anybody. You can have your phone and you can create your own fan base. Look at this podcast right now. I mean, every time I do an episode, I'm going, you never know. Some episodes have done amazingly well and other ones not so much, but it doesn't matter. It's just you hope you resonate with somebody and build a new fan and they share some clip. And what's interesting when you do a podcast or a sketch or even a stand-up clip, it's odd. It never hits on every platform. It hits maybe one or two. Like when I say platforms, you got TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Am I forgetting one? TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Oh, yeah. And it's weird. Like sometimes it'll hit millions in one and you only get a couple thousand in another. And then sometimes it'll go nuts on TikTok, but won't do nothing on Instagram. It'll great on Facebook, but won't do shit on Twitter. It's just weird. But you never know. Like I'll see some clips and I'll be like, it didn't hit like I thought. And then another clip will go nuts on something I didn't think would go nuts. I'm like, really? That's what resonated? Really? It's weird. So we was talking about that. And then and I told him, I said, the one thing I've learned in this business is there's enough for everybody. Everybody can eat. You know, I remember probably about 6-7 years ago, I was in Chicago and Kevin Hart was at the United Center and I was at the Improv. And I sold out every show and Kev, I'm sure, sold out the United Center. And I remember when that offer first came in, I was like, man, Kev's there at the same time? I don't know. But then I realized it's enough for everybody. Just look at, I wasn't in Houston Saturday. I was in Richmond, Virginia. But Russell Peters was at one theater and Cat Williams at another theater. And I'm sure they both sold out. So that's just let you know, two huge comics were in the same city on the same night of different theaters and both packed it out. And then just a week before, I was following Dion Cole's page. And Beyonce was in concert in Houston, and Dion had a show at a theater in Houston, and they both sold out. Now, granted, that's music and stand-up, but it still is entertainment, and you're still looking at two black artists. So they're kind of pulling from similar fan bases. Because I'm sure everyone that saw Dion Cole knows who Beyonce is and knows she was in town. I don't know if everyone that went to the Beyonce concert, just because it was like 500,000 of them, knows who Dion is. But for sure, all of Dion's people knew who Beyonce was. But the fact that they both were in the same city at the same time, and Dion sold out a theater, and Beyonce sold out everybody else went to Beyonce, and then everybody else saw it, and whoever did was a Dion show. So that just lets you know, man, there is enough for everybody out there. We all can eat, so to speak. But that's what I was telling Druski, and then Druski texted me afterwards. He was like, "Hey man, thanks for not hating on us like some of the other OGs." I was like, "No, I don't think I ever will." Because my thing, and I said it last week or a couple weeks ago, I was just like, I never want to cost myself work. So you never know. Like just me chopping up with Druski, exchanging numbers, being cool. I don't know what he's got coming down the pike. I might be in Atlanta, LA, or somewhere, and like me and Desi, that one time I was in Atlanta, we just shot 3 sketches together on a whim. I just met him one morning and we shot some sketches. Same thing with Druski. I was like, why wouldn't I? If I'm in the same city during the day, I usually ain't doing nothing. Why wouldn't I go just shoot a sketch with somebody? I mean, why? It's just fun. You're getting creative, keeps your mind young, keeps you in the loop with people. I mean, the same reason if somebody's in town, like when I had Ali on a few months ago, I go, we're cool. He wanted to come on my podcast. I was like, yeah. And if he called me, I'd go on his podcast. Why wouldn't I? It's just like, if you're not doing anything, I think everything is just, does your schedule allow it? And are you up to it? Because podcasts are different. 90% of podcasts, you're not really getting paid. So it's just you're doing it because you either want to promote something or you're cool with the host or, just want to get something off your chest, so to speak. So, yeah, why wouldn't you just be cool with everybody? So this week was it was an interesting week. I lost a friend. It's weird. Like I had a friend pass away this week, and he's been sick for a while. His name is Sean Carey. He's out of Pittsburgh. He's been coming. I've known him for probably 14 years, and it's interesting how we met. We met, I think, in Tampa when the Steelers played the Packers in the Super Bowl. I was at the Improv that week, and we just met through some mutual friends, and it just got cool. So every time I would come to Pittsburgh, he'd always, God, this has really been Pittsburgh heavy the last couple weeks for me, hasn't it? He'd always come to the shows, and when I was married, I had my vow renewal. He came to the pilot shoot and the wedding, the vow renewal part. Just a good dude, but man, he's one of those that when COVID hit, 3 years ago when COVID hit, he caught it early, and his body just never recovered. I've never seen nothing like it. He never got back. Like he caught it right. I mean, he caught it right in the beginning, and it just kind of ravaged his body a little bit. And then he didn't think he was going to make it. He got put on the respirator. He got off. This when everybody was getting on the respirators and passing away. I mean, Sean got off of it, and they discharged him from the hospital like a couple months later, and he was still very frail. But it was just up and down. You get updates through his friends, and we texted. He'd always text me shit about the Bengals. I'd text him shit about the Steelers. And one cool thing that happened through all this is 2 years ago when Juju Smith-Schuster was still on the Steelers, I think I posted something about Sean, how he's a huge Steeler fan, and then Juju Smith's mom DM'd me and said, can we get his info, and we'll have Juju send him a signed jersey. And they did it. And they didn't know Sean from a can of paint. They just said, oh, he's a Steeler fan. Juju was with the Steelers at the time. And so that was real cool of her mom, and it meant a lot to Sean at the time. And then he got out, and it looked like he was on the road to recovery, and then he'd have a setback, and then it was a big roller coaster these last 3 years with Sean. And then the last month or so, he just really took a turn for the worse and went in a coma, and they had him on a respirator. And, a couple of people that mutual friends of ours was asking me, am I going to go see him? And my road manager, Brad, went and saw him, and I called him. I said, should I go? And then Brad was kind of tore up over it. He goes, man, he's just sitting there on the respirator, man. He's very frail, and he's not talking, or he's just kind of there, just laying there. And he goes, I don't even know if he knows we're there, even though you try to talk to him and sit with him. He goes, you don't know for real if they can hear you or not. The doctors might say it, but you don't really know if they're not responding. And so I just went, oh, okay. So I didn't want to see him like that. I don't want to remember him like that. And so, he finally succumbed to everything this week. And so I just want to tell his family, friends, and Pittsburgh and down in Florida that, I'm going to miss him. He's a good dude. And, it just sucks, man. It sucks because COVID seems like it was so long ago. But that was the one person out of everybody that I ever knew caught COVID that just never recovered and was just up and down with it, man. I mean, usually when in the beginning you got put on that respirator, that was a deathbed. That was like, you're not coming off. And he actually got on and came off, and then got discharged, and they did a thing at the hospital. I saw the video where they clap for him. He rings the bell. I'm getting out, and it just looked like he was on the way back, man. And then it was a rough go for his whole family the last couple of years. So, the good thing is he's definitely not in pain anymore because, there was times we text and, he'd say, I don't know if I can take this, and, I'm getting sick of this in and out and stuff like that. He always, 9% of the time, he had a great attitude. But, I mean, how could you not when you're when you're up and down like that, have those days where you're in such pain that you're just like, oh, I can't take it anymore. How could you not? So that sucks. And then, so it's funny. I get the text this past week. Sean passed away, and a couple people messaged me. Sean passed away, and I think a lot of people was expecting it. And then Trey the Truth is on Instagram, and he posts this guy, and his name is Kunal. And if you see this, please give this guy a follow. It's and we're gonna put the graphic up, but it's his Instagram is KUNALAFTC. Now I'm gonna do that slow. Even I'm gonna do the graphics because I hate when people rattle off a phone number or an Instagram and you're like, "What is it?" So I'm gonna go real slow. Kunal, KUNALAFTC, and he's on hospice. I record this the night before we air it, so he's day to day right now. So even by the time this airs, which is tomorrow, we hope he's here, but it's not guaranteed. But I met this guy 2 years ago at a place. It was a Diesel barbershop in Texas, and I'm just looking for a place to get my hair cut. So I go in, and I'm getting my hair cut, and he's in a wheelchair. He comes strolling out, right, rolling out, and he goes, are you Gary Owen? I was like, yeah. And then we start talking, and he's telling me, yeah, I'm the owner, and he's telling me his vision for the barbershop, how he's also in the music business. He was like, yeah, I got this studio, I got this barbershop. He was just that dude. You could tell he's a hustler. He had a handicap. I mean, he's in a wheelchair, and I don't want to give the wrong. I don't like the word disease, but just go to his page and he'll explain everything that was going on with him. But anyways, he's telling me everything that was wrong with him. He's not going to let it hold him back. He's still running businesses, and just a very motivational guy. And talking, and when he talks, he like just sucks you in. You're like, oh, okay. And then so every time I would go in and get my hair cut, he was always there, and then we just get to talking, and then I go in one time and he's not there. And I remember he asked if it was okay if he took a picture and video when I was getting my hair cut, if they could post it, and I said yeah. And my thing with that is like, I was just like, thanks for asking and not just assuming, because he gave me the out. Nah, man, I don't want you posting that or anything like that. Because sometimes you go to the barbershop and you ain't looking your best, especially if you got hair in your ears and your eyebrows, like I said earlier. But he asked, I was like, yeah, I don't care. So all of a sudden, I came in one time, and the girl that used to cut my hair every time, she goes, yeah, he sold part of it, and the new owner came in because physically he just couldn't be there every day like he wanted to. And he was very animate, like, I like to go in every day to, make sure my employees are in good frame of mind, the customers are in good frame of mind. I mean, he took it serious as an entrepreneur and as the owner of the barbershop. So he sold his stake in it, and the girl would always update me. They go, yeah, he went in for surgery, and then they found that they had to amputate part of his leg, and this disease just kind of, it's not cancer. It just kind of, every time we went in for a surgery, and he's been dealing with this his whole life, it just got worse, basically. And then, so anyways, long story longer, I follow Trey the Truth on Instagram, and then all of a sudden I see Trey post him, and I go, oh, I'm looking, I go, oh shit, that's the dude that owned the barbershop. And I was wondering what happened to him, because the girl that used to cut my hair, she stopped working at that barbershop because she didn't like how the new owner was running things. And I was getting my hair cut from her for a little while, but then she got a job, I think at an airline or something. And so anyways, how barbers are, you find a new barber. And so I didn't really know what ended up happening to him. So I see Trey's post, and I go, oh shit, that's the dude. So come to find out, he goes into hospice a week and a half ago. And so when you go into hospice, he knows he doesn't have a lot of time to live. And he goes, I'm 34 years old. I don't know how much time I got left. And he goes, but he started doing just a lot of motivational talks on Instagram and TikTok and social media, and just telling people how not to feel sorry for them, don't feel down. He's basically given us his journey through hospice, and every day he's progressively you're getting worse when you go into hospice every day. So I DM'd him and I said, yo, man, I was like, I've been asking about you. I'm not sure what happened. And I told him I went to Trey's IG and saw him, and I knew he lives in the area. And I asked him, I said, is it okay if I come by and say hi? And it was so funny because he would text me an address, and then he DM'd me the address. And then when I looked it up, it was the Diesel Barbershop that I used to go to. And I go, wait a minute. I know he's not at the barbershop. I know the hospice isn't the barbershop. So I would text him and go, no, I need your address. And then I text him something else. I just want to come through. And he kept thinking I wanted a haircut. So he would mess me back. He goes, yo, I'm not majority owner anymore. I can make a phone call. So the funny part is I'm DMing this guy that's in hospice that is basically dying, and he thinks I'm messaging him for a haircut. And then finally he leaves me a voicemail. He goes, Gary, I'm dying, man. I don't own the barbershop, but I can make a phone call if you really want me to. So even on his quote-unquote deathbed, this guy was going to call the barbershop to get me an appointment to get my haircut. And I just went, bro, I don't want a haircut. I just want to see you, say hi, because I just think he was so excited to see Trey. And he's really like a hip-hop head. So it was like, I just remember when I came to the barbershop, he was always cool. And I was just like, so finally he said, oh, man, I didn't realize that's what you wanted. And so send me the address. I got to go see him a few days ago, and Trey the Truth was there. And, just got to sit down and chop it up and catch up. And it's so weird. You go over there, and I don't want it. I didn't do it for a social media post. I didn't do it for quote-unquote clicks. I really just went there, set my phone down. I didn't see they had a photographer taking pictures. And as I'm talking to him and his friends that was there, I was like, I could see it was important to them to have his message out there, and just uplifted his spirits, because, he's really, his Instagram and TikTok and everything has just blew up in the last week or so. Now, he's been the same person his whole life. He's been giving these talks about his disease, what he's going through in hospice, but until Trey started posting it, that's when everybody really started watching, and then it started resonating, and then everything just kind of took off from there. And The Rock reached out. So many rappers, so many athletes, entertainers. You just go to his page and you can see the people making the comments. The Rock was huge, and The Rock didn't know who he was. He said, I just got wind of you the last couple weeks. But it's just his outlook on life, knowing you ain't got a lot of time left. And there's one post that he made where he just said, I ain't got a lot of time left. This is like day 3 or 4 in hospice. But he goes, I got good food. I got my family. I got my friends. He goes, the sun's shining. It's a good day. So the fact that he can have this outlook on life, and he's telling people, man, I don't know what you got going on, but appreciate what you got. And sometimes we hear that, and it's so easy to be like, yeah. But I wanted to go see it in person because I wanted to feel his energy. I wanted to see somebody that knows they don't have a lot of time left, but has still got a great outlook on life, even though they don't have a lot of life left. And we always say we don't know if tomorrow's promised, and we don't know when we're going to go. Here's a guy that knows he ain't got a lot of time left. Every time he falls asleep, he doesn't know if he's going to wake up, and he knows it. And he's still got this great outlook on life. And it was just like, I just want to feel his energy. So when I showed up, I didn't know, am I allowed to post? And then Trey sent me some of the pictures that was taken there when I went there. And it was funny because as soon as I got there, so I brought him a Jamar Chase Bengals jersey. Because you know me, I'm always trying to make new Bengal fans. I don't care if you got 2 days to live or 200 years to live. I was like, so I got this jersey. I brought it to him. and I'm ready to give it to him. And as soon as I walk in, his buddy's there, and he's got these flowers from C Murder and a couple other rappers. And he just made a comment. He goes, "The hell am I going to do with those? I'm going to be dead in a couple days." He goes, "I appreciate it. What am I going to do with the flowers?" So I had this Jamar Chase Bengal jersey. Like, yeah. I said, we're doing bad right now. We can use all the positive energy we can get. So if you could just bless this jersey, give a picture, a shout out with the jersey. And I just never took the jersey out of the bag. I was like this. Ooh, if he's only got a couple of days to live, I don't know how he's going to feel about the jersey. What's he going to do, rock it? So after we get there and you start talking, and then, the vibe gets different. It gets loose. I told him, well, bro, I bought you a jersey. I said, but after I saw how you reacted to the flowers, I didn't want to bring it out. So I just left it. They pulled it out of the bag, and they showed him it's the Jamar Chase Bengals jersey. And his one buddy's like, "Oh, this is hard. This is hard." I was like, "Yeah, it's good. It's good." So I remember I texted Trey when I left, and I go, "Hey, man, if you get a shot to get him a shot with that jersey," I go, "Bengal Nation is strong and loyal." I said they'll flood his Instagram with comments and follows, because it looked like that was important. And he made a thing. He made a post on his story of how the sad part is he's not going to be here to really see how his message is resonating. He said, because this guy, I'm telling you, if he was to come out of this in any kind of way, I mean, he'd be touring the country motivational speaking without question. It's just, and the thing is, he's just a normal guy with an amazing outlook. And he just, the way he talks, he just sucks you in. So they got the jersey. I haven't seen a picture with it yet. But just, listen, he's got it. So not just Bengal Nation, but anybody out there that's listening to this podcast. If you just go to his page, and I'm going to say it again, and we're going to put the graphic up so you got it, at KUNALAFTC. Just flood it with positive messages, likes and follows, because it hit me when I was there. I go, oh, they enjoy reading that. How could you not? The Rock's sending you messages and reposting. That would be mind blowing. But he's just, he's just a good dude, and it's just weird how people come into your lives at certain stages, and then you lose touch. And then you see him again, and you're just like, man, life can change that fast. And this is a hell of a week for me. A buddy of mine passes from COVID complications, and then I see this guy just used to run into him at the barbershop, and his family and everybody was kind enough to let me just hang out with them for a few hours and chop it up. And I just felt, I didn't know. It's weird when you go there, because I don't want to be that guy, because I don't like those posts when I see people doing things like they'll give a homeless guy money. And I've seen posts where somebody goes, "Can you imagine if you're homeless or you're just down and out on your luck, and some guy gives you money and then sticks a camera in your face to record it, and then just, it's just like, it wasn't authentic." So I remember a couple years ago, Gabrielle Union came to Cincinnati, and me and her was hanging out, and I'm walking her back to her hotel, and we see this homeless guy, and Gab gives the guy $100 and then talks to him for like 2 minutes, which doesn't seem like a long time, but that's a long time at 2 a.m. And she just talked to him, and I don't even know what she said, but I just sat there, and I never pulled my phone out, and I wanted to be in the moment. I wanted to be in it and really take in what was happening right in front of me. Was you had an A-list actress stopping, talking to a homeless guy, and clearly giving him some motivational words. And that was it. And she didn't do it for clicks. She didn't do it for likes. She did it because that's who she is. And that's why I love Gab. And same thing. So I go visit this guy, and I go, I don't want anyone. It's weird. You just don't want anyone to think you're here for a motive, or I'm here to make myself look good. no, I just wanted to really just feel his energy and let him know, like, whatever you're doing is resonating. And more important, not more important, but just as important, I want his family to know. Because once he's gone, his family's his legacy and his friends. So I wanted them to know, hey, man, the things he's doing is resonating. And I just wanted to tell him in person what it did for me. It just helped my outlook on everything. I mean, God knows I've been through quite a bit the last couple of years. I can use all the positive energy I can get. I'll get it from wherever I can. So, look, we're gonna end this episode. We're gonna find a clip of one of his posts, and we'll just cut it up, and we'll end it with some motivational words from him, so you can see. You know, we'll splice a couple of them together, and I think that's a good way to end this episode. Words from him. So, all right, y'all. Well, here he is, and I'll see you next week. This is Gary Owen with the Get Some Podcast.
Something hit me last night. Things in my life in the past that used to give me shame, that I was embarrassed about, like being sick, like having to, deal with all of this kidney stuff, because I was an athlete, and I wanted to commit suicide. I was so embarrassed about my sickness. Now, my sickness gives me so much pride, gives me so much strength, gives me so much confidence, because I'm getting through it and still getting to the hustle, still getting to the bag, and I'm like, oh, I'm a beast now. And I used to want to commit suicide. God forbid I wouldn't have got to this place in life to have this. So I say all that to say, if you're going through something right now, if you're going through something real, man, just know that's not always the way it's going to be. And things that you're embarrassed about or you went through in your past are going to give you confidence and pride in the future, man. I'm telling you that. It's a beautiful day. Let's get on with it. The problem is, you are waiting for the perfect time to start whatever you want to do. Oh, let me get some more followers, then I'll drop my song. Oh, let me get some more followers, then I'll drop my video. Oh, let me get some more money to invest. There's never no perfect time. I sat for years either waiting to die or waiting for me to get better. I kept saying, oh, after the next surgery, I'm going to get up and do something. Oh, after the next surgery. And guess what? I kept having motherfucking surgeries. They never stopped. So I finally just decided I'm going to get up right now, regardless of what I have, what I don't have, what's at my disposal, and I'm going to get to it. And I started getting to it, and within 6 months, my podcast had 13,000 subs. Now, sadly, I'm not doing that no more. I moved on to other stuff. But none of my businesses was I able to start in perfect conditions. I started businesses in the pandemic and still got it on. There's no perfect time. Today's the perfect time. Let's go. I come on here and I motivate, but if you're healthy and you got all your facilities, you should be out hustling me. There should be no reason why I'm out hustling people who are healthy and have all their facilities. Look at this. Do you see this scar? Every day I'm in pain. I got this going on. I'm not sitting here complaining or anything. I'm getting after my dreams. This is a business that I own. I own multiple businesses. I'm out here getting to my dreams, not complaining about what I'm going through. So if you're healthy and you have all your facilities, you should be out hustling me. It should not even be close. Do you know what I would be doing if I was healthy and had all my facilities? You should be out there getting to your dreams, and regardless of what you're going through, but especially if you're healthy and with all your facilities, get up, get out, and hustle today.